core curriculum math class in your freshman class, you know, and man, you just ain't going to make it like that. You're going to be in college years more than anybody else, and it's going to take more and more money. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to, you're going to get in, but you're not going to get out with a degree.
Right.
Yeah, and institutions are going to walk away with more money.
Exactly.
That happens all the time.
Oh, that's going on big time here in Detroit City at Wayne State University, where they just open the doors up and let several people that qualify for money in. And the black graduation rate is just ridiculous compared to the other rates, you know, of graduation.
But do you know one thing about some of the schools here in Detroit, like a lot of the academies that are coming up, like the Math and Science Academy that just opened up a couple of years ago, and actually urban schools right now, they are teaching a stronger level and a higher level of math to younger adults, because I think they're like starting kids now who are like 11, 12 on geography, and higher mathematic courses, so that they're a little bit more prepared. But unfortunately, if they were paired up against a white kid, an Asian kid, and a black kid, unfortunately, the Asian kid would beat those white and that black kid all the way, because their curriculum is a little bit harder. What they're learning at home is a little bit harder. What they're being prepared for. And the really thing about the urban areas now is more younger people having kids, so they don't actually stress sitting down having time to study for 3 or 4 hours and actually learning that. And the really sad part about that is the parents don't know what this school is teaching the kids, so they can't teach it. They can't help it.
Well, you got cycles of poverty and cycles of dropouts. You know, if the parents dropped out, then, you know, the next kid had a baby, and then now the baby's grown up and didn't get anything, and the baby drops, you know, the new baby drops out and has a baby. So, you know, you got these vicious cycles going on, and it's just hard to break. You know, it's just rounder, and things are worse now than they have been in a long time. You know.
Here's my
I'm sorry. I would like to interject about the Asian. When she spoke of the white, the Asian, and the black. Yeah. Also, what plays is come to play in that role is the society. You have societies in different countries that's geared towards education, period.
Right.
And that's a society on the whole, whereas by 10 years old, we have witnessed over 700,000 murders on TV, on different television shows and video games by the time we're 10 years old. So our society is geared a little differently. Also on the get rich quick type of tip is our society is geared towards. You know, I can become a thinker, or I can become a football player, rather than other societies where they say you could become a computer programmer, you could, you know, excel in mathematics, and, you know, preach those type of things.
Right.
Yeah, well, my concern is, like, with the differences in the schools in, let's say, the urban areas, and like you were saying earlier, how there are different academies that are trying to bring their communities, their students up to speed. But for the most part, there is a huge difference in schools where Debbie was saying she went to a school that was predominantly white, and they offered a lot of different things as far as the curriculum. Well, in the urban high schools or middle schools or whatnot, those things are not offered. And my concern is who is designing these curriculums, and why is there such a big difference?
Yeah,
why aren't they getting the same kind of education, and is that on purpose?
Right.
Money.
You know, a lot of it has to do with tax base and et cetera, and weakened school systems. You know, we had white flight here in Detroit, where after the '67 riots and stuff, you know, the riot commission put out a report, you know, saying that we were headed toward two separate societies, you know, separate and unequal, one white and one black. And, you know, and said that if you want that, then you can keep on down the same road that you're going, or you can do something different. What the policy analysts and everything did was they said, we going to the suburbs, baby. You know what I'm saying? We out of here, and we're going to leave them right here where they at. You know what I'm saying? And then they built up everything and expanded out, into the suburbs and all this, and headed out rural, with malls and movie theaters and brand new homes and everything. I mean, beautiful, man. But, it took tax base out of the city, and it left a whole lot of empty houses and vacant places and apartment buildings and everything, man. And now they just sitting here, wrecks, man, burned out, wrecked out, no tax base coming in off of them. And
you know what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But you know what? That wouldn't even be a problem if we didn't have agencies coming in flooding it with drugs and other different things.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
if we take the money out the community, it still wouldn't be a problem if we didn't have these hidden hands doing all kind of mischievous things to help people from progressing.
Right, exactly.
It still wouldn't be that much of a problem. And also I work with I have a lot of white counterparts, friends I go to school with, and for the majority of them, don't feel like this. Don't have these views. Don't feel racist. It's just an agenda that they don't. And this is an agenda that a few have.
This is an NWO New World Order Big Brother agenda. You know what I'm saying? It's not white people that's doing this. It's some white people that's doing it. Some white people that believe different things, through their history of Atlanteans and Lemurians and Hyperborean societies and all this kind of stuff that they go into and what they believe and how they believe they're going to hold power and dominance, over darker skinned people, But I'm saying, man, it's bloody, man, and a lot of people are losing their lives and it's a lot of crime going. Even a lot of white people are suffering the crimes and being victims of this violence and stuff that's going on.
Yeah. The whole economic system on the whole, white people are suffering from, but are blind to it because they're so caught up into the racism thing. And that's because it's been promoted, right? It's been promoted heavily throughout history in this country.
Right.
So
it's like blinders.
They're blind to a lot of things because of the racism.
Right. They're blind to a lot of things, and they have a bad view of what's really going on. You're looking at it. You're looking at a picture that somebody produced for you, but they're not showing you the hidden hand behind it. Yeah, there's a lot of monsters, man, but the system is cranking them out every day. If you get a baby, man, that's born and he's in your arms, man, brand new baby, you see what I'm saying? And in 5 years, if that baby, you give him the dial test, okay, and you ask him which dial is the good dial or the black one or the white one, and he points to the white one, you know what I'm saying? Which dial is the bad dial, and they go that one over there, and he's pointing to the black one. You know what I'm saying? These kids already have internalized self-hatred and everything by the time they're 5 years old, and
that's
white
the black
people.
Kid.
Yeah, the black kid. He's internalized this, and the white person is getting the same education. So they're internalizing that as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then by the time they're 14 or 15 years old, man, they pointing guns at each other point blank, man, and pulling the trigger like it's nothing. Okay? Because it ain't nothing but another Negro. You feeling me?
I feel like if you take all black people, all minorities, period, out of America, within 5 years, you will have a revolution. Because maybe then you will be able to see some of the wrongs that are being done to them on a regular basis by their own government.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's the only way.
I gotta come in here. I don't know the right words. My name is Tim, by the way, and I think we got a caller that hung up there. But yeah, coming from a white perspective, I don't know. I didn't see that. I grew up in Montreal, and I got to grade 11, didn't finish, didn't get one credit. But it was definitely a mixed school. I went in actually my school was in a rich neighborhood, which was the median between the residents from the south side of the tracks in Montreal, and that has a history on its own, and the west side folk, and then none of the rich kids actually went there because it wasn't a private school, so there was a mixed gender. But I mean, I think your wife Debbie was talking about getting beat up, and I mean I guess that was a while back, because when I was growing up, we didn't have any of that. A lot of it was peace. And yeah, you did have your segregated groups. You had blacks that hung out with blacks because they had more in common than let's say the groups with skater groups with piercings in their face and what have you. So there was definitely a segregation there, and I totally feel like I don't get to know the truth about how hard it is because I don't get to hear it on TV. They don't talk about how it is, and I grew up in the ghetto, and I have a lot of respect for African Americans who are victimized because of racial profiling, and there's no jobs out there in the ghetto. You have to go out of you got to get out of the ghetto. That means you got to get a bus pass. That means you got to sort of get a job.
Well, let me tell you about Detroit. Let me tell you about Detroit. Detroit in the morning, man. In the morning, the freeways are jammed. Okay, coming in 8:00, downtown and all the New Center area, everywhere. These are suburbanites, man. They're coming in. They're still holding the jobs. Okay, since they left in the '60s, they still have the jobs. They still get the education. They still come down and run finance and business and everything else in Detroit City, and then go back out into the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? We watch them, man. We watch the traffic jams at 5:00 again, going back the other way.
Well,
as a matter of fact,
that pisses me off.
Yeah, right now, guess what? They're getting ready to build a light rail system that'll run from out in the suburbs. When they get done completing it, and bring it all the way downtown, so that they don't have to pay the parking fees and and get into the traffic jam and stuff. They'll be able to park and ride. You know what I'm saying, man?
It's not. And I think we should have equal grounds. But before I go on, if you'd like to tell our listeners who we're listening to, because it's been over an hour, and I'm sure they're wondering who is this great radio host.
You're listening to Urban Revolution on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. I'm One Iam, and my co-host tonight is Debbie. And we are listener-supported radio. Totally listener-supported. You can hit the donate button and keep us on the radio, because I got a lot of subjects that I want to hit, and urban education is just one of them. But I got several topics that I'd like to cover, and we're gonna bring you good information. I'm gonna give you the 411 on what's really happening, what's really going down, and I'm not gonna give you no racist type stuff. I'm not even into that. I'm just gonna tell you what's going on. I'm gonna tell you there are racists out here, and they have got policies in place that are hurting people, and that are making things look like they're really not, and please, by all means, hit the donate button, give $1, $2, whatever you can, to keep us on the radio, giving you the 411. And there's a lot of good radio programs on Revolution Radio. They talk about other things, asteroids that are headed this way, and different things, and all kinds of subjects that are enlightening that they don't cover in other places. You know what I'm saying? Mainstream media is not even talking about these different things, that could be very, dangerous to your health. So keep us on the radio, independent radio. We're going to tell you what's happening, man, and what they're not talking about, and tell you all the games they're playing. And then sooner or later we all gonna get up and do something about it.
Amen.
Instead of just talking about it. And we gotta talk until we got enough people to do something about it.